God bless the United States.
The Mueller report, I wish, covered the oranges, how it started. In the failing New York Times by an anonymous, really an anonymous, gutless coward. They sacrifice every day for the furniture and future of their children.
Tim Apple.
Mike Pounds.
I know words. I have the best words. Yosemites, Nambia. Thailand.
Look, we all know that Donald Trump was never the sharpest tool in the shed, but over the years, his mental state has gotten markedly worse as Republicans have refused to see the reality.
The Democrats, ooh, there was a mosquito. I don't want mosquitoes around me.
I'm a very stable genius.
The disinfectant, where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection? I tested positively toward negative, right? People are flushing toilets 10 times, 15 times, as opposed to once. Sinks, right? Showers. And what goes with a sink and a shower? 10 times, right? 10 times. Wow, Bob, not me, of course, not me. You want to wash your hands, you turn on the sink, the water comes up.
No, get those lights off. Off.
You have a shower. It's no good for me. Remember the dishwasher, you press it, boom, there'd be like an explosion. One of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water.
So if you thought for 1 second that he would give a clear, concise, articulate, and focused answer when talking about actual policy for once, you'd be sadly mistaken.
If you win in November, can you commit to prioritizing legislation to make childcare affordable? And if so, what specific piece of legislation will you advance?
You know, I was somebody, we had Senator Marco Rubio, and my daughter Ivanka was so impactful on that issue. It's a very important issue. But I think when you talk about the kind of numbers that I'm talking about, that, because look, childcare is childcare. It's, couldn't, you know, there's something, you have to have it. In this country, you have to have it.
Trust us, we're just as lost as you are. But maybe he'll clarify why he mentioned Marco Rubio and Ivanka.
When you talk about those numbers compared to the kind of numbers that I'm talking about by taxing foreign nations at levels that they're not used to, but they'll get used to it very quickly. And it's not going to stop them from doing business with us, but they'll have a very substantial tax when they send product into our country. Those numbers are so much bigger than any numbers that we're talking about, including childcare, that it's going to take care. We're going to have, I look forward to having no deficits within a fairly short period of time.
That's not how tariffs work at all. And we're almost a full minute into his answer, and he hasn't even come close to mentioning a specific policy to lower childcare costs.
Coupled with the reductions that I told you about on waste and fraud and all of the other things that are going on in our country, because I have to stay with childcare. I want to stay with childcare, but those numbers are small relative to the kind of economic numbers that I'm talking about, including growth, but growth also headed up by what the plan is that I just told you about. We're going to be taking in trillions of dollars. And as much as child care is talked about as being expensive, it's relatively speaking not very expensive compared to the kind of numbers we'll be taking in. We're going to make this into an incredible country that can afford to take care of its people, and then we'll worry about the rest of the world. Let's help other people. But we're going to take care of our country first. This is about America first. It's about make America great again. We have to do it because right now we're a failing nation.
So Trump's master plan for reducing childcare costs is to raise federal funds by imposing tariffs on foreign goods, completely ignoring how increasing tariff taxes would raise prices for consumers so the importer and exporter can keep their profits steady. If you have a better idea of what his plan is, leave a comment below, because we're struggling to find a better explanation tying the two relatively unrelated issues together. Thankfully, though, at least someone in legacy media was willing to call out Trump's speech for exactly what it was.
Caracas, Venezuela, has almost no crime. Next year, I'm going to suggest that the Economic Club hold its meeting in Caracas because we'll be safer than we are in our country if they win. We'll be far safer.
Now just think about how stupid you have to be to say that. Then think about how stupid you have to be to clap for that.
Like Lawrence O'Donnell on NBC. aren't taking the high road this time, and we're honestly here for it.
I know some smart rich people. In fact, I think maybe all the rich people I know are smart. But there's a lot of stupid rich people. And New York's stupidest rich people gathered in one room today and proved how stupid they are. Most of the rich people in that room live in New York City and work in New York City every day, very, very happily, getting richer every day and living in complete safety 24 hours a day in New York City. The New York Economic Club is not a club of economists. It's mostly Wall Street types who don't have a graduate degree in anything, who have never produced anything, and who have spent their lives massaging money.
It's refreshing to hear someone with the credentials like him tear down the mythology that you have to be smart and hardworking to be rich in this country. It really comes down to a mixture of smarts, a ton of luck, hard work, and how willing you are to screw someone else over to put yourself above them.
Those stupid rich people clapping for the man who they watched try to overthrow the results of a presidential election, clapping for a man who says childcare is childcare, or clapping because in the middle of his droning speech, he promised them, all of them, another huge tax cut. Those stupid rich people are willing to corrupt American democracy for the stupidest person who has ever spoken to them.
Again, spot on, but he definitely could have gone further. The ultra-wealthy, corporations, and the upper socioeconomic classes only care about the bottom line and are more than willing to side with whatever political candidate benefits them the most economically, regardless of the consequences for everyone else. This is why it's so frustrating to live under a two-party system that cozies up to these stupid rich people and lets their interests direct policy instead of the popular wishes of voters.
That guy talking isn't the problem. It's those people clapping that have brought this country to this crisis point in its history as a democracy.
Well, they're definitely to blame. It's not just those people clapping, but the elected officials and party operatives within the Democratic Party that have refused to give voters a legit alternative platform to vote for, instead of extorting voters into voting against the Republicans that has put our country in the position we're in. We already know who the conservatives are and how they don't hide their corruption and dirty tactics to seize power. So if the Dems offered a comprehensive, obtainable, and progressive agenda with policies that would actually help working families, like paid family leave, subsidized child care, child tax credits, Medicare for all, etc., anyone who isn't rich like the folks at the New York Economic Club probably wouldn't fall as easily for the culture war talking points that previously convinced them to vote Republican and against their own interests. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports, and or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.